Put this light on. Yes, we are. I'm in my favorite spot. Yes, I am. But I want to reach out to you because I know you're going to be here. And I know there are things that you want to talk about. And I'm going to give you the floor. Whatever it is, got questions on something that you saw, um, questions that may pertain to your environment, I'm giving you this platform. Because I have people say, well, you know what, Gerald, you're like hit and miss. You put all this love out there, and then I want to ask you, but you are apprehensive. Why? I'm the same guy. Excuse me. Somebody making a joke about the coronavirus. That ain't funny. Uh, no, it's not. It's not. Um, and I feel that energy. You want them keys to be flying. And you'll get to that last comma, period, and then your insecurities kick in. It's like, I don't know. If I even know where you're at, in a town near you, in a city near you, in the state near you, in another country, why are you apprehensive? It's just my opinion. It's just my truth. And it's funny because just before I had opened up this lens, I was out in the garage because I still have this boom box. And this boom box has been in my life, shoot, 20 plus years. I'm talking about when the radio first came out and you got the CD player on the top and the cassette deck in the front. What y'all know about that? I know some of y'all millennials, like, I saw a picture of that on in my images. I was wondering what it was. That's old tech. But sometimes old tech is better than what's out there, because if that wasn't the case, you wouldn't be playing records now, would you? That's why you hear classic. That's why when you hear a song for the first time and it touches your soul, because it's connected to that frequency, because the body gives off two frequencies: love, hate, or fear. You can relate. So I wanted to afford you the opportunity. Anything that you wanted to ask, you got it. So I'm going to cut my TV on. Can't see that because it's behind you. And I'm going to open up one of these music channels. And with that being said, with the Fair Use Act of 1970, all music and media is not for sole propriety, is bound under the Fair Use Act, and all artists, producers, and those entitled to that said media, they're entitled. Copyright Act. Because I know that somebody may find this video and they may feel that, oh, I'm trying to benefit, and I'm not. Music has always been my second love affair. My first has always been the Most High. but music always has a way of stimulating that beautiful mind. So I'm just gonna let my remote guide me, and we'll see what pops up. Do I want to hear some hip hop? No. Some R&B clip. I'll do a little bit of both. I can do that. No. Indie jazz. Makes you want to go skiing. And I said, "What do you know about skiing?" When I was in Europe, I used to go skiing. I can ice skate too. Hmm. I know because people want to put people in boxes and think you can't. Let me tell you what. We only use 6% of our beautiful mind, and you're given natural gifts, and that's why they keep recurring too, because that is that nudge. You may know that it's your intuition. You may actually tap into your discernment too, because there's a longing inside you saying, "Hey, you need to be over here. You need to look over there. You may need to be still and take note of what's going on in your environment." Why? Because you're a spiritual person. Don't have, see, that's the problem with us as human beings. We don't give ourselves the proper nourishment and nurturement that we need to actually fulfill not only your prophecy, but your full potential of who you are. Because we allow ourselves to embrace impulse and and then when things don't turn out the way we desired, we end up being our worst enemy. When in actuality, every experience that you're going to come in contact will it should help you grow, even if it's through pain. Because you know what? One thing about pain, pain is really the ultimate truth. It's like that cerebral litmus paper. When things don't play out the way you want, guess what? You get an opportunity to assess and make adjustments if you desire. Peace, LJ. How are you? So I'm not the type of person gonna say never, but I've been longing to set up something so that I could connect to you. This is my way of connecting to you. I got the live chat going, and I'm gonna have it open for a little bit. So if you got any questions, we fire them away, and we'll just bounce them off each other because you deserve to have the best life. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, who's on this planet to be in misery? Who you should not waste one moment in sorrow. You shouldn't. But there is work required. You do understand that, right? Because I know society wants to convince mankind life is about looking for the come up, but really you can't build off of a come up. That's temporary. That's just like taking someone that's on this level and another person that's right here. What they got to talk about? This person can aspire to get here, but if they don't have the tools to elevate, how can they be on the same plateau? But this person right here, if they don't take into consideration all it took to get right here, they'll be right here. But that's true. But I understand some people don't want to hear that. They're looking for the silver bullet. They're looking for the four-leaf clover. They're looking for the pixie dust. That's because society teaches you through distraction. No, don't go within yourself. No, 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 no. You don't need to do all that. What you need is you need that pill over there, or you need to do that over there. Or no, don't worry about the stuff that you were given the moment you took your first breath. Oh no, don't worry about that because well, first of all, we don't want you to take note that you are blessed because you are beautiful. You realize how many people walk around this planet don't realize that you are a masterpiece. You are. But society doesn't want you to see. Now, let me correct myself because you have some people that will look at it from a perspective of ego and they will weaponize that until they come across the right one, until they come into that person that wants to take them down a peg or two because they have narcissistic traits about them or something about their persona causes a trigger and they are destructive, which is that low frequency. But we only have one life, right? So let me ask you this. Do you dream anymore? Do you dream? And if you do dream, how much value do they have? Do you realize the dreams that you have are really inclinations of affirmations not claimed? Did you know that? Meanwhile, there's that distraction come up. There's that setback that comes up. And you put all your energy in that setback. But yet there's no energy in acknowledging it. How can you understand where you're going if you won't acknowledge where you are? Because there's so much energy placed in convincing us to play the victim, not the survivor. Now, I'll do one better. Look at that last setback you went through. Look at that one. Yeah, that one. You'll notice that you're not there now. Because if that was meant to be your reality, guess what? You would be still living through it. That would be the norm. That would be more or less emotional and spiritual Groundhog Day. But guess what? You've had movement, haven't you? You have. Is there work still need to be done? I know it is. And guess what? You cannot navigate through that until you take accountability of the role you played in that. That's how we define the experience. Otherwise, it wouldn't be your perception. Who am I talking to? What I'm trying to convey to you is this. Think about what you thought about, what crossed your mind this morning. Maybe your game plan when you woke up this morning, you said, hey, I'm going to go to work. And while you were setting off to go to work, you said, "Well, you have your normal what you do for lunch. You go and stop and get something to eat, or you bring something in, whatever the choice may be. And then as you're almost a quarter through your day, you're thinking on the backside of what's your job requirement and responsibilities over, and now it's the evening, and you've already made a decision that what you're going to do when you get home compared to set you up for what you're going to do possibly this evening. Now, take note of this. You'll notice the environment that supports it fluctuates. You will have 60% possibility, 40% support. And you may have some influx in that because you may be in that position. And I'm not making light of that, where you feeling like, well, I want to do this, but I don't feel like being the bank tonight. And it seems like when you're not the sponsor, you have no support. Is that coincidental or not? No, it's not. That means you need to assess your circle because just like communications about sender receiver, shouldn't the energy exerted be the same? That's what balance is about. So where is the imbalance? Where is it? I mean, I'm just trying to get you to see that, like the proverbial saying, there are wolves in sheep's clothing. You also have those that only see you as a resource, not the example. That's why when things occur, you can't count. You can't count on them. They never have time. But when things get overwhelming and you feel that you're going through changes, they're they've got their chair front row, and you become the entertainment, not the friend. Who am I going? Who's going through that? Let me tell you something. You'll get to a point where you get tired of being tired, and you'll tap into your courage, and you'll either throw your hands up because you're giving up, or you'll place your feet down and you'll take a step elsewhere because you will see your worth and you deserve that. If you're spending more time with your eyebrows like this than this beautiful mouthpiece with that, you do understand your smile is one in a million, right? One of a kind. Your smile is the same example as a diamond. There are many smiles on this planet, but there's only one because there's only one you. So why are you holding yourself hostage? You do understand that when you hear people talk about freedom, you can't be free unless you are aligned, mind, body, spirit. You do understand that. Your dreams will not be able to be manifested and made a reality until you have the trinity of yourself. But I'm assuming you knew that too, right? Think about it. Think about all the accomplishments that you've had, and think about the mindset that you had at that time. I guarantee a nickel to the dime, with laser precision, you had yourself together. Why? Because it's about the Trinity, mind, body, spirit. I mean, when you think about your life is like a big antenna. Society is the frequency, and how you react determines the direction or the impact that's received. Think about it. Realize how many. Put it this way: you can take, you can have a room and fill that room, the volume of room with people, right? From all over, and you can have an example of, what was this say, um, a picture, right? Everybody in that room will see that picture. But the moment that you destroy that picture, if it has no tie to you, you won't feel the impact of what it represents. So let's look at your life. At the end of the day, your choices are built off of the perception of what you interpret, interpret here, validated here, displayed by your foundation. That's why you hear people just like when you see people out there, you know, we'll say social media or you're out and about and a fight break out, you'll always have a select few that will sit there and become the cheap seats. And then you'll have some to say, well, you know what, this ain't, I don't want no parts of this. And it doesn't mean that they're being cowardice. They see their worth and value based off of the reality of what brought them there. Because we live in a world where, you know, there's always somebody that wants to weaponize. There's always something, you always hear about scenarios where, they was in the club and a fight broke out and next thing you know they were shooting. There was a casualty. The person had nothing to do with it. So what I'm trying to get you to understand is you got to get to the point where you're tired of being the casualty and become the priority. And when you decide to become the priority, your direction and your perception will shift. It will shift. You won't have time for the things that will be deemed distractions. You won't have time to waste because you see the value. You may know it as time management, but really, it is your dreams being held hostage. Some of you have God given talents that really there's no reason why, if you aspire to be an entrepreneur, you to be the next mogul, the next brilliant inventor, you got these natural God given talents, but you're holding yourself hostage because you you don't want to commit to yourself. And we've gotten so inundated in seeking approval to be who we are and accept it instead of appreciating the person that's in the mirror looking back. Now, nobody should walk around with secrets, but it is a travesty to not be able to commit to the person that matters most. And that's you. That's you. Now, I can echo this until I'm blue in the face. But the truth of the matter is, I have one path. It's my responsibility to fulfill the prophecy of my life. And that has me obligated to be me. Now, granted, I know there's some people that may perceive that, oh, well, all he does is talk about spirituality. He might not can relate. But the truth of the matter is, this is a process that took almost 27 years of my life to get to. I mean, God willing, um, 1 week, 1 day from tomorrow, I'll be celebrating another birthday, God willing. But if I was not blessed, if I wasn't blessed, I could be at peace with myself knowing that I got to a point where I knew that who the grand architect is and why everything that was revealed to me played the way they did and why and what I gathered from that experience to get me to where I am. Because when you get to that point, you get to a point of accepting that, hey, it might not be about you. You may be used so you can reach the intended. Because I tell you what, family, I mean, I remember when I was in my 20s and the state of of the family structure, it was frightening. I remember when I was in my early 20s and the front of the Washington Post said the next endangered species, the black male, life expectancy 19 to 21. I remember how that felt, wondering, whoa, because growing up in DC at that time, just like every major city, there was a lot of death. There was a lot of death going on. And to be raised in that environment of not knowing, even though you're trying to do the right thing, you know, are you going to make it home today? You know, are you, because you get acclimated to how always having to dot your I's, cross your T's, look over your shoulders, watch where you step, because that was the narrative that was being promoted. But through it all, I didn't walk through some of the most treacherous areas without fear. And then in hindsight, I'm like, wait a minute, what was I thinking? And this is worldwide, family. I mean, yeah, we got hoods and projects and low income areas, um, and nationally. But I done been in areas where internationally, like I think I'm gonna just take this from a comedian. He said it best, but he actually was referring to DC. He said, the mailman come and drop the mail off on a corner, and it would sort itself. If you wasn't from there, there's a possibility you won't leave there, and that's just what it was, you know. And hmm, but wait a minute, what is this? Okay, that's some crazy stuff, right? Let me see if I can, because I do have the live chat, and I'm hoping that more people come in. Yes, I'm live. Yep, because I know people are going to see this and go, what's this? So, nonetheless, I'm in the process of finding my oasis. Some of y'all know that I've been out there because I'm about to buy some property, buy a house, and if it's divine will, I've, I've actually I was drawn to this house. I didn't know anything about it, and then when I saw, I was like, yeah, there's a reason why I'm seeing it because I'm supposed to be here, and I can't wait. I can't wait because it will not only uh, it's going to totally change the paradigm of how I do my videos. You're going to be like, what? You know, but just know this is God's doing. And this is God's doing. And I trust him. I trust him with my life and my because his will is my direction. But we live in a world where man wants to be God and they wonder why your life doesn't play out. That's like somebody being an imitator. You know, you always hear the proverbial saying, imitation is flattery. No, it's not. It's not. It's an example that you're not living your life because your life could be better or greater than. So you kind of settling. You're being deceived, you know. But we go through those growing pains. We experience these things. And I'm not knocking that if you're an artist. Oh no, I don't. Please don't take that out of perception. No, because I don't mean it that. But what I'm saying is, nobody knows the moment they'll take their last breath. So it is imperative that you treat your life the moment like it's your last. That means be responsible. But you know, like the proverbial saying goes, I think it was radio personality Casey Kasem. I'm pretty sure when he used to be this. He was this legendary DJ, and he did uh, America Top 40, and it was all your Billboard, and, you know, mainstream stuff, and then that was what spent off to doing the New Year's celebration. That had a heavy influence, but one of his closing catchphrase was, um, "Keep reaching for the stars, but keep your feet on the ground." That was his thing because no matter what you're experiencing, stay grounded. Stay grounded. And you can't stay grounded unless you are being you. And the real question is, why settle? Why? You ain't got to. You ain't got to. Because your lifeline has so many experiences, and you have people that you have yet to connect with that haven't even entered into your life and will not enter your life until you decide to be who you are. That experience is being held up. You know, that's just like you. That's like you going to college for whatever your degree is, right? But your best friend is the one that's going to receive the diploma. You wouldn't do that. So that's how blessings work. Most High is not going to give you blessings so that they will not be not only validated, but they will be embraced. They're not. And a lot of times we go through extra things because of the environment that we keep. Like you might be going through a financial struggle right now, and you know that, and you also know it to the point that when you're around your circle, it's gotten to the point that your money starts acting funny. Things started acting all out of whack. Why? Because Most High is trying to tell you they don't have your best interest. They're actually using you as the emotional or the physical ATM, and they're making withdrawals, and they're not putting anything in the process. And you know that. You know that. You know that. I'm telling you what you already know. So the real question is, what are you afraid of? Because you'll step out of your comfort zone. And guess what? If you step out your comfort zone, really what you may be stepping into is your reality. That's why sometimes when we go through setbacks, trials, and tribulations, And yeah, at times it can be frightening, it can be painful. But guess what? There's always insight. There's always a reason for it all. And sometimes it's just simply just to purge you out of that environment, to so that you can go and think like, well, you know what? If I wasn't with Jody and them, why is it that every time I'm with Sarah and them, I always have this same effect? Because divinely, that is nothing but synchronicity trying to tell you you deserve better, but you can't receive better until you remove yourself in grace. Doesn't mean you got to be an ass. Doesn't mean you have to degrade yourself. No, it's asking you, do you understand what you're seeing? That's what the Most High is saying. Do you understand what I'm showing you? And when you truly understand what you're seeing, are you willing to accept that there's something better? Truthfully, not from what comes from your mouth, what is found in your heart, because that's what he looks at. He looks at what's found in your heart. That's why you heard the term the heart of men, because anybody can say anything off the mouthpiece. Anybody can say that. But anyway, I'm going to leave this where it is. I would like to know if you would be interested on maybe once a week doing an open forum. This gives you an opportunity to interact with me. And if you got some questions and concerns that you've been dying or burning to ask, I'm giving you the platform because it's about each one teach one, right? And you're worth it. So God's praying for you. You know I am. I see your worth. And for that, it helps me discern mine. Wherever you are, in a town near you, in a city near you, in a state near you, internationally, worldwide. Be safe this weekend. Love to hear from you. Bye for now.